Go. Video clips. Nope, that's not what I want. Could someone go on my LinkedIn profile, please, and make sure that I'm actually streaming live? Hey, Ali, go on my profile and register for the event and see if you get some kind of notice about it.
Right now.
You are streaming live.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we're going to begin pretty soon. I got on here early. This event was scheduled for 2:30 Central Time. It's now 2:28 Central Time, and we're going to be beginning at 2:30 Central Time. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, it's not on LinkedIn. Why isn't it on? Am I on LinkedIn streaming live?
Seeing you here on the profile.
Okay, cool. Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, good. Streaming, good. And the name of this presentation, Clint Arthur. I want to, thank you. I'm going to try to smile more. That's good. 1 minute, we're going to be beginning. I should probably let people come on too. Like, it probably will take a minute or so for people to come on. Share my screen.
It's a little bit delayed on my.
Yeah. Let's share the Chrome tab. No, I want to share the window. There we go. This window. Boom. See, I start off sharing this slide. And what does that slide do, everybody? See what I mean? Well, it's more than that. Look at the slide. Look at everything that's on the slide.
So everything you're saying is coming through on live stream now.
Good. See what's on that slide? Everything that's on that slide is, I got awards on that slide. I got celebrities on that slide. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Well, hey, as I'm waiting for people to come on, I'm going to get started because I got a schedule to keep here. I'm broadcasting to you from the clubhouse down in Acapulco, Mexico. And this is coming to you live at one of my events here. It's called Impact, Influence, and Income. And I wanted to demonstrate what I'm doing here. It's just a method I'm using to try to get some eyeballs on what I'm doing. And the presentation today is called Creating Unfair Competitive Advantage. Creating Unfair Competitive Advantage. It's also called Creating Ultimate Competitive Advantage. And one of the CEOs that I met recently said to me that if you don't have an unfair competitive advantage, then you don't have any advantage whatsoever. And that's why having an unfair competitive advantage is the ultimate competitive advantage. And when I met Mick Jagger, I said, "Sir Mick, what's the most important thing you ever learned?" And he said, "You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you might find you get what you need." And everybody wants to have an advantage. That's what you want, but how far are you willing to go? Are you willing to go to the point where you have an unfair competitive advantage? How do you get an unfair competitive advantage? One of my great mentors, you notice on this slide, Dan Kennedy, awarded me his Info Marketer of the Year. And Dan Kennedy said, look, your marketing system should be so multi-step, multimedia, complex, and sophisticated that even if your competition knew what it was, they wouldn't and couldn't do it. And I'm going to be talking about that today. This is not a shiny object that you're just going to push a button and it's going to make the world happen for you. It's not that. This is the real thing. This is what Tony Robbins does. This is what Grant Cardone does. This is what I do and what thousands of my students are doing as well to create a true competitive advantage. And in today's presentation, I'm going to reveal to you 10 strategies for how you can have the ultimate competitive advantage. And the first strategy is having a great headshot. Now, it was really fascinating for me. This is the headshot that inspired what I'm going to talk about here. See this girl's headshot? This is one of the people who spoke at one of my events one time, a previous client. She submitted this as her headshot for a directory that we had at the event. And I thought to myself, holy cow, that's a really interesting headshot. She took her headshot and she put it on some kind of a Jumbotron display in a shopping mall. I thought that was a really interesting thing. And what I did was I improved that. And I put my headshot up on the NASDAQ Jumbotron in Times Square. And I think that is a great headshot. I use it all the time. I have it, for example, on my phone. Oh, that's a different one. That's a different one. But I do keep it here. Here's one that I put on my phone. Gosh, let's get this notification off. There we go. See how I use it just every day on my phone? If you could see the back of my computer, you would see that I have a skin with this image on my computer. It works for me all the time. And it's a great way to use your headshot. Your headshot is your first line of marketing as an entrepreneur, and too many people don't put enough importance on the headshot. If you put a lot of importance and get yourself a powerful headshot, that is an unfair competitive advantage. The second strategy for creating the ultimate competitive advantage is to have a killer 15-second commercial. So what does that look like? Well, I'll play you a couple of them. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Greg Hannon here. I'm so excited to be back at NASDAQ. Again, talking about ransomware and cybersecurity. Catch the video at topsecret.com.
What we do is we put your headshot or book cover on the Jumbotron, and then we film a brief commercial of you standing in front of the Jumbotron in Times Square. Here's another one so that people know that it's real and it's a great little 15-second commercial.
How's it going, guys? Jonah Lavin here in Times Square, New York City, about to speak at NASDAQ called Love and Connection. And don't forget, underneath it all, it's all about the love.
That's a great little 15-second commercial, and that is an unfair competitive advantage. You know, when I met Martha Stewart, I said, Martha, what's the most important thing you ever learned? And she said, when I was a little girl, my daddy told me that I could do anything, and I believed him. And I know a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about in this presentation on creating unfair competitive advantage seems like it's too big, to do. But I assure you, I've done every single thing in this presentation for literally thousands of clients. And I assure you that you can do it too. And what I did in there was I used a little story. I told you a story about me and Martha Stewart, and having little stories that you use to teach is an unfair competitive advantage. The fourth strategy to have unfair competitive advantage is to write a book. Hey, you got to have a book. If you really want to have an advantage over your competition, you need to have the fortitude and the concentration and the focus and the expertise to sit down and organize your thoughts and create a book about what you do or who you are. This is my 21st best-selling book, and it was actually nominated for a Pulitzer Prize in 2022. And having a best-selling book that wins awards really is the unfair competitive advantage.
We're so often out of our comfort zone when we ask for ourselves. And you mentioned that that's an important thing to ask of yourself, is how comfortable are you not being comfortable in your comfort zone?
Yeah, pushing through your limits. You know, life begins where your comfort zone ends. And the more you push outside of your everyday life and your boundaries, the more you're going to grow as a person and achieve in this world and create as a legacy.
It's scary.
It can be. That's when it's great, is when it's scary.
I really believe those things. And I know that a lot of this stuff, writing a book, being on a Jumbotron, telling stories about celebrities, I know those are things that a lot of people find to be uncomfortable. But when you get outside of your comfort zone, that's where the growth occurs. And if it's scary, that's how you know it's going to be really, really growth producing for you. In fact, you know, standing in this house, when we decided that we were going to buy a house in Mexico, that alone was scary. But then buying this giant mansion where we could host seminars, writing the check for this place, that was really scary, but it was turning out to be really, really great. And I know a lot of my clients would agree. Would you guys agree that this is a great thing? Yeah. All right, let's go on to competitive advantage. That was 4 was stories and the book. 5 is going on TV. And I just showed you me on the Today Show with Brooke Shields. Hey, when you have video clips of you on television, and it doesn't have to be on the Today Show. I've done 133 TV appearances. They were not all on the Today Show. Most of them were not. But having TV is a huge advantage for you. And here.
This is the second time I've been here. So I'm a really busy mom, busy schedule. So what makes someone do the same event twice? Results. This event gives you more transformation than anything else you're going to do. If you want to get booked on TV, if you want to be a celebrity, nobody can coach you like Clint can.
Hey, I've been coaching people to go on TV and to be great on TV since 2011. And I've had thousands and thousands and thousands, more than 5,987 segments have been booked by me and my students. And a lot of it happens at my Celebrity Launchpad. If you're interested in that or anything that I'm talking about, you'll have an opportunity to find out more at the end of this. And, you know, who are the people who do this? If you're an author, a speaker, a coach, a consultant, advisor, or an expert of any kind, TV can be an unfair competitive advantage for you. I know it has been for me. I really have focused a lot on TV, and it has really helped me to stand out. I'll never forget the beginning when I was first going to lots of seminars and I was showing up. After I had like 15 TV appearances, people were coming up to me all the time saying, "You're really making it happen, Clint. You keep going, man. You're really making it happen." And that came from TV. When I met Sir Ringo Starr, I said, "Sir Ringo, what's the most important thing you ever learned?" And he said, "I get high with a little help from my friends." And, you know, it's not, hey, thank you. It's not possible to get beyond a certain point without help. And I've had a lot of help from my celebrity friends, and I've helped a lot of my friends to go to the next level where they want to go. And I would love to be your friend and help you to get higher, because it really is coming down all to being higher, as you will see later in this presentation. When I met Ice-T, I said, Ice, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, don't expect anybody to wake up with your dream. If you got a dream, your wife is not going to make it happen for you. Your kids are not going to make it happen for you. Your friends and family are not going to make it happen for you. Very oftentimes, they will try to hold you back from making it happen because it doesn't fit with their agenda. You're the one who has the dream, and you're the one who needs to make it happen. The sixth unfair competitive advantage strategy is to have celebrity friends. And I'm showing you some of mine, and I'm showing you what's possible when you have celebrity friends. The seventh strategy for creating unfair competitive advantage is what I call VIP speaking. And, you know, I've shared this idea and this strategy at events sponsored by the Entrepreneurship Club of Harvard Business School, at Harvard Faculty Club. I've shared it at Oxford University. I've shared it at Cambridge University, at the London Stock Exchange. In fact,
we're here at the London Stock Exchange, and I just spoken at Clint's event. Great event, great people, good fun. Be there next time.
That was Nigel Farage, creator of the Brexit movement. He's the one who invented the idea of Britain exiting the European Union. And I said to Nigel, what's the most important thing you ever learned? And he said, well, after 27 years of waiting for Brexit to happen, patience. And I really want to stress that celebrity entrepreneurship is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You need to be patient, you need to keep at it, and you need to keep moving forward with all of these techniques. And what I have demonstrated for you here was VIP speaking. VIP speaking means speaking at very important places. And I've spoken about, you know, I've shared this, as I said, at Harvard Faculty Club, at NASDAQ is a great VIP place. I've shared this at the Philadelphia Academy of Physicians, where I shared the stage with Dr. Oz. VIP speaking means you speak at very important places. And if you do that, it's going to be very helpful for you in your career as a speaker, because the first question anybody asks when they're asking you about, you know, the questions they ask you about whether you're going to be a speaker at their event, the first question they ask is, where else have you spoken? And when you say stuff like Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, NASDAQ, London Stock Exchange, it makes a big difference. And in addition to that, the eighth strategy is having videos of you speaking at those places. And videos also produce frame grabs, which are photos. And I've showed you me speaking at these places, and I've showed you photos and ultimately videos from those. So the eighth strategy is to have the VIP speaking videos. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this.
7 figures. So I think that would put me in the top 5% of all the earners in the National Speakers Association.
No, probably in the top 1%.
I make a lot of money, more than 99% of the professional speakers in the United States. And the strategy I use is this unfair competitive advantage strategy. Now, I've also shared this at the USC Marshall School of Business Entrepreneurial Center, the Lloyd Grief Center. And that's my daughter in the picture. They gave us each one of these hats after my speech there. And I love the hat because the logo is basically the USC Business School formula for entrepreneurial success. And what is special about that one dot? See, that dot is the answer. That dot is higher than all the rest of those other dots. And like Ringo said, I get high with a little help from my friends. Hey man, if you want to get higher in the eyes of customers, prospects, if you want to be seen as higher status compared to your competition, I would love to be your friend. Now, I always wanted to be special. And when I was a little kid, the idea that I came up with to create my special status was that I was going to go to the Wharton Business School. And I figured if I could become a graduate of the best business school in the world, that would make me special enough to get my parents to stop arguing, because they were arguing all the time. And after I graduated from Wharton, I went home to get the attaboys. And what happens? Was it a love fest? No, they got into the biggest argument of all time. My Dad stormed out of the house and slammed the front door behind him. And I turned to my mom. I said, you know, Mom, the way he resents you all these years, have you been cheating on Dad? And I'm sitting there on the couch in the living room next to my mom, like I've done a million times. And I'm thinking, holy cow, where did that idea come from? I never even thought that before. And then I'm thinking, wow, what kind of a rude person have I become that I would ask a question like that to my own mother? And then I'm thinking, how come she ain't answering the question? And then she says, he's not your real father. Your real father was a doctor at the fertility clinic we went to for 6 years trying to have you, and you look just like that guy. Say, what? Mama? Not only didn't I know who I was anymore, but I sure as heck didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up anymore. So I call up the investment bank on the 87th floor of the #1 World Trade Center. And I said to the vice president, sir, I really appreciate the offer to come and be an investment banker, but I've changed my mind and I don't want to be an investment banker anymore. And what did I do? Naturally, I ran off to Hollywood, started writing screenplays, going on auditions, and chasing the Hollywood dream for 13 years. This is what it really looks like to chase the Hollywood dream for 13 years. I accomplished my goal, though. I did become somebody special. I became the Wharton Business School taxi driver. Yes, that's right. And that was not the kind of special I was really looking for. Now, a lot of people ask me, Clint, do you resent wasting 13 years of your life on a dream that never happened? Because I assure you, I wasn't driving a cab in Hollywood for 6 years because my dream happened. I was doing it to survive. But really, that whole process taught me the most important lesson in business, and that is who you are is more important than what you actually do or sell. I have been mentored as a writer by Pulitzer Prize winning author Frank McCourt, by Academy Award winning producer Arnold Copelson, who won Best Picture for his movie Platoon, by Oprah Winfrey, who told me the story that her parents met under an oak tree when they were teenagers one time, and that one meeting resulted in Oprah Winfrey. That's a story, my friends. And I've been mentored by those people in storytelling. So let's just assume that I'm a pretty good writer, okay? Well, it doesn't matter how good you are. It matters who you are. When I was on the Today Show with Brooke Shields, they could have hired 1 million journalists to interview Clint Arthur on the Today Show, but they hired her. Why? She's not a great interviewer, but she's Brooke Shields. And that's why they hired her, because of who she is. They paid her a lot of money because she is somebody and not nobody. Now, I had a text message show up on my phone. It said, hey, Clint, if you donate $25,000 to Tony Robbins' favorite charity, you could be the host of his 60th birthday party in Los Angeles. And it took me exactly 58 seconds to make that donation happen. I just clicked that button and did it. And I tell you this not to show off, but just to show how grateful I am to be able to do something like that. Me, the guy who was driving a cab. And I said to Tony, when I bought Personal Power 2 tapes when I was a taxi driver, I couldn't afford to get the cassettes. I couldn't afford to get the CDs. I had to get the cassettes because they were $30 cheaper. And he gave me a big kiss on the cheek and a hug. And he said, I'm so happy for you, brother. I'm so glad it all worked out. And I said, Tony, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, life is happening for us. And I know there's a lot of stuff been going on in the world these days that may not have seemed to be happening for you. But hey, look, if it wasn't for COVID, I would not be having my seminars and living my life here. And this is just one of the things that have worked out for me as a result of the world happening the way it is. I really do believe life is happening for us. Now, if you think Tony Robbins is famous, you probably do. You know, most people think Tony Robbins is famous, but Tony Robbins is not famous. Tony Robbins is really nobody, as much as I love Tony Robbins.
Hey, anybody here know who Tony Robbins is? Do you? No? Do you know who he is? Do you know who Tony Robbins is? No? How about you? You know who he is?
Hey, I know they're just the wrong demographic. Here's a different demographic.
What do you think of Tony Robbins? You know who he is?
Who the fuck's that guy?
No, really. Do you know who he is? You don't know who he is?
See, Tony, I love Tony. I love Tony. He's had a huge impact on my life. He's not famous. He is what I call a celebrity entrepreneur. And I wrote about this in my book, Celebrity Entrepreneurship, one of my many best-selling books. And in celebrity entrepreneurship, I go exactly through the 5 elements of being a celebrity entrepreneur. And it helps you to stand out in any kind of environment, but especially if you're in the corporate structure. I know a lot of people are like, well, how does this apply to me? I just work in a job. Hey, look, if you want to be thought of as a power player in your corporate structure, celebrity entrepreneurship can make that happen for you so easy, because none of your people you're competing with are doing any of this stuff. You think about any of the people in your corporation, are they speaking in very important places? Are they hanging out with celebrities? Are they writing books and winning awards or going on TV? No, they're not. So if you're an entrepreneur, this works. If you're an author, a speaker, a coach, an expert, this works. And really, this is my mathematical formula for how you become a celebrity entrepreneur. And me teaching it here at Mercedes-Benz Corporation. And when I asked Mike Tyson, champ, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, stay humble. That's exactly what he said and how he said it. And this has, people hear the word celebrity. This has nothing to do with ego. This has only one thing: marketing. This is all about marketing. And the 9th way to have a competitive advantage is to market you. See, this is all about positioning you as somebody special in the eyes of your clients and prospects. If you're working in a corporation, you got 1 client, 1 is the worst number in business. If you're an entrepreneur and you are competing against other people who have similar products, you need to be higher status. And the best way to do that is to market you, your product. If you're marketing a product that has competing products that are similar or equal to your product, the only difference that you can offer to your clients and prospects is you. And marketing you gives you that advantage. Celebrity entrepreneurship is all about marketing you. The 10th strategy for unfair competitive advantage is to position yourself as a celebrity instead of a salesman. Instead of showing brochures or product specifications or all the other tools that salesmen use, you use celebrity entrepreneurship to position yourself as a best-selling author, an award-winning speaker, a celebrity. We'll go on to number 11. The 11th strategy for unfair competitive advantage is to have huge confidence. And, you know, when I quit drinking alcohol, it gave me a lot more confidence. But I'll tell you what really has given me a lot more confidence than all of that is hanging out with Martha Stewart and asking her questions on stage at Carnegie Hall, or interviewing Dr. Oz at the Philadelphia College of Physicians, or Dog the Bounty Hunter, or Mike Tyson. Meeting all of these celebrities under the high pressure situations has helped me to have a lot more confidence, and so is going on 133 TV appearances. The 12th strategy is to have higher status than your customers, prospects, and your competition. And how do you have higher status? By being a celebrity in the eyes of clients and prospects. I know it's not fair, but that's what this is all about. The 13th strategy for competitive advantage is to have more credibility than your customers, prospects, and competition. The 14th strategy is to over-deliver. And the name of this presentation was 10 strategies. Here is the 14th strategy. I build this into everything I do. I always over-deliver. That is a deliberate strategy that I use to create an unfair competitive advantage, because most of my competition is under-delivering. Most people go to seminars and conferences and they get less. I remember one $9,500 conference I went to, which was advertised as a 3-day conference, began at 6 p.m. with a cocktail party. The next day was from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the third day was from 9 a.m. to lunch. I don't really call that a 3-day conference, but that's what's out there in the marketplace, but not when you come to a Clint Arthur event. My events always are more than what you are expecting, because if you want to have impact, influence, and income, the best way is to over-deliver as a celebrity entrepreneur in the eyes of clients and prospects. Hey, I've gotten some attention for this theory. for this methodology of marketing. The Wall Street Journal calls me a charismatic marketing impresario who helps clients stand out. And the 15th strategy is testimonials.
1 year ago, I was closing less than 30% in my dinner seminars. And today, I'm closing more than 60%.
Between year 1 and year 3, we're up $1 million a year.
I have increased my fee at 80% and have more than 100 patients in my waiting list. I went from a 6-figure practice to a 7-figure practice.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, having great testimonials is really, really good. Here's one more I'll play you.
I have worked with Tony Robbins for several years, and I have paid more than $200,000 per year to work with Tony. I have worked with Grant Cardone. I have spent more than $60,000 per year to work with him. The difference with all these people and Clint is that he actually cares in a very personalized way to each one of us. The other is just big name brands, and I love them. I'm very grateful to be working with them, but I don't think they actually know my name. So I have barely speak to Clint, and when I raise my hand, he says my name. He knows me by name. That means a lot for all of us because he's really interested in your success or my success in this moment. I do want to make sure that you understand that what you get is far more valuable for what you pay, or what we pay. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
That was a conference we did at the height of COVID during the pandemic. And that's just to illustrate for you, you cannot let people stop you down. You cannot let the world stop you down from what you're trying to do. That conference was in Atlanta, August 7th and 8th and 9th, during the peak of COVID, right after the riots. And we had almost 200 people show up there for that conference, and it was a huge success. That's what's possible when you're doing celebrity entrepreneurship. Now, when you, if you want to have your photo here, I'm doing a NASDAQ event with the Jumbotron at the end of August, and I'll tell you how you can find out about that. You can get imagery like this as being a very important speaker at a very important place. And what would that do for you? What would that do?
4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, we closed one deal, 5-year, 1.6 million. And the second one is 450,000 over 2 years. All attributed to NASDAQ. I actually asked them because I wanted to see how to tie it back.
How to tie it back. He asked them, how did you find out about me? And they said it was the NASDAQ speech. Hey, when I met Snoop, I said, Snoop, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, life's too short to smoke cheap weed. Now, I quit smoking weed accidentally in December of 2009, but I do agree with Snoop's philosophy. Life is too short to do cheap stuff, to wear cheap clothes, to drink cheap wine. If you do drink anymore, I don't. But if you do, you should drink good wine. Everything you should do should be great. Especially, you should invest money in having great marketing, because life is too short to have cheap marketing. Now, it's not cheap to be a celebrity entrepreneur, but if all it did was get you one new client, what would that do for your bottom line? Adding one new client per year. Think about what a client is worth to you in lifetime value. How much do you really want it? Anything is possible, as Martha Stewart said, if you want it.
Business-wise, there's been huge growth, and probably in the first quarter of this year, I've already done more in production in one quarter than I did all last year.
That's a year of working with us.
A year of working with us. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to show up. The key is you must show up. If you can just show up to my events, you will win. That's the motto. Don't I say that all the time, guys? Just show up. Is it true? Yeah. It is 100% true. You just got to show up. Let's go to this one. Here we go. This is a really great one.
My company was probably $2 million in size when I joined. We're 10 million. We'll close at 10 million at the end of this year. I also am coaching and the head coach, vice president of Technology Marketing Toolkit with Robin now, coaching 3,000 members on how to grow their MSP. I have people that pay me $10,000 a day to coach them, and I've started 2 other companies since then as well. I'm probably easily making 1.5 million a year take home myself, where I was probably making 150,000 4.5 years ago. So if you do it, it will open so many doors.
Hey, they talk about 10x. That's 10x for you right there. It will not happen overnight, but if you are willing to invest in something that's real, your time, your effort, your smarts, and your money, this really does work. And if you want to find out more about it, let me start a little, I think I have a little crawl that can go across here, caption. Boom, there it is. If you want to get your competitive advantage and live your best life now, you can go to Best Life Now 2023. I'll also have some other response mechanisms for you as well. Some people don't like to go to websites, but there you go. Hey, when I met Oprah, I said, Oprah, what's the most important thing you ever learned? She said, you are responsible for your own success. And there's nothing more true than that nobody is going to turn you into a celebrity entrepreneur except you. I can't make you do it. If you want to do it, then that would be a really smart thing for you to do.
Got it, Clint. Exactly. I don't care how busy you are. Listen, all of you are doing the right thing by being with Clint at his conference. It's a wise move. You're busy. I'm sure you had lots of other things you could have done, but you make time.
Hey, you got to make time to show up and get the good marketing. And you can go to clintwith3ts.com, or, this is the first time I'm doing one of these LinkedIn events, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to get what you want. So if you think that this might be for you, you can also send a text message to this number and just say LinkedIn. That should be the text message, LinkedIn, and I'll reply to you with a link to the calendar, and we can hop on a call and see if this would work for you. I want to make sure it's a great fit. So you can go to clint.com, and at the bottom of clint.com, you can, let's take a look what that looks like. We'll go to clint.com, and I got to adjust what's being shown on this screen here because I need to share a different share. I'm going to share a different share here, window, and this is clint.com. So this is what's at clint.com. You're going to have to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you need to apply for mentorship. Oh, did I put that up at the top? I think I put that up. Create your masterpiece, learn Clint's speaking game, impact, influence, and income mastery, find your secret story. Apply for Clint's mentorship. Just click that, and it'll take you to an application, and please fill out the application. It'll take you 2 minutes to fill out this application, okay? So those are your methods for how you can respond, and I will stop this share. That's how you can respond and get some action in your career by transforming yourself into a celebrity entrepreneur. And that's going to wrap up this presentation today. So thank you so much for showing up or for watching the replay. And I'm looking forward to helping you to make all of your dreams become your reality.
Yeah.